So this Warsinger dies, and the second time we do damage, it'll bring it back. Will this come into play? And can we... Oh my gosh. Oh my god! We don't even lose it. Oh, God bless. 100% win. Hey everybody, welcome back and welcome to Strixhaven, my first deck within Magic the Gathering Arena. 100% win rate in Mythic. What? We have the Lorehold S+ tier for you guys today. There are so many broken cards that I do not think will survive their entire life cycle. We're going to look at deck, break down the gameplay footage, and wrap up with some final thoughts. Thank you again for your time and attention. It really helps support the channel. Make sure to smash that thumbs up button as well. Let's get into it and take a look. Of course, if you're looking for any of the links within today's video, Hello Good Game Linktree, a quick Google will find that, or it's in the description below. Easy peasy. Everything from our 500,000 gem giveaway, free coaching sessions, free cash prize monthly tournaments, and so much more. With that out of the way, Lorehold S+ tier is a 60 card best of one standard deck, 2.4 average mana draw with 6 non-creatures and 30 creatures. 26 white source and 18 red source within the cards that we do have. 24 lands, so you shouldn't have any problem curving out with this very light average mana cost or curve. With that out of the way, the main synergies within the deck are everything revolving around Venerable Warsinger. This is the new card, the new engine, and one of those cards that I think might not last its entire life cycle. Mostly because it only costs 3 mana. It should cost 4. I don't know what's going on. It's a 3/3 with Vigilance and Trample. Whenever Venerable Warsinger deals combat damage to a player, you may return target creature card with mana value X or less from your graveyard to the battlefield, where X is the amount of damage Venerable Warsinger has dealt to that player. So we'll be utilizing the damage through the Warsinger, which is very easy to do because it has Trample, in on our opponent to pull some of our other creatures out of the graveyard right back into play without having to pay for them. These creatures can end up in the grave through death. We can also discard them. This is really nice because we're rocking things like this Seasoned Hallowblade, a 3/1, and you can discard a card at will, giving it indestructible and having to tap it until the end of turn, which is quite nice. So, you know, if you're about to attack with your Warsinger, you've got something in hand, you can discard it, get that damage in, and replay it for free. So that's absolutely amazing. But we're going to double down on it with the new Blade Historian. This is a 2/3 for 4 mana. Attacking creatures you control have double strike. So the Warsinger is going to deal damage not once, but twice, allowing you to pull 2 creatures from your graveyard into play. You know, it's absolutely silly, and we have some amazing things that you can be replaying from your grave. One of the most notable would be Alseid of Life's Bounty, a 1/1 with lifelink in which we can pay 1 to sacrifice it, giving another creature we control protection from the color of our choice until the end of turn. So whether we're using this defensively to protect our Warsinger or offensively to make it unblockable, it will work out in our advantage because, again, we can easily replay it from the grave. Most notably here, during our attack phase, we can give the Warsinger protection from the color that our opponent has of blockers, being unblockable now and immediately replaying it to the field, which is pretty darn cool. A similar effect within the Selfless Savior, 3 copies of this in deck, a 1/1, in which we can sacrifice to give something indestructible. You know, you really want to have that Blade Historian and the Venerable Warsinger remain in play. And again, the first strike trample will allow you to play the Savior immediately, even if your creature will die on the main combat phase, right? If you do trample damage through the first strike phase and you'll die on the second main phase or something, you can save yourself with the Savior, which is pretty cool. We'll demonstrate that for you guys in today's gameplay. 2 copies of the Fireblade Charger, a 1/1. As long as it's equipped, it has haste. When it dies, it deals damage equal to its power to any target. You know, why not? It's a good chump blocker. It's really cheap for us, and we do have that light mana curve, and we'll find out more about what makes the Fireblade Charger so special in just a moment. We also have 2 copies of Shadowspear, Equipped creature gets +1/+1, has trample and lifelink. For me, playing an aggro deck is all fine and dandy until you run up to another aggro deck that gets to go first, right? So we can mitigate that with the Shadowspear. You know, it's really going to help us. The life gain is great, and we can put trample on something like the beloved Seasoned Hallowblade. And then we're using stuff like the Luminarch Aspirant at the beginning of combat on your turn. Put a +1/+1 counter on target creature you control. 2 mana. It's a 1/1. You can put this +1/+1 counter on the Fireblade Charger for its death trigger will now do more damage. You can also put it on the Seasoned Hallowblade because it can grab indestructible basically at will, which means, you know, it's got that resistance to the removal and will stay in play longer. Similar to the Seasoned Hallowblade, we have Plargg, Dean of Chaos for 2 mana. It's a 2/2. We can tap it to discard a card, putting it into the grave for the Warsinger, also drawing us a card. That's a win-win. It's not like discard and then draw, right? It's like, yes, discard, great, and draw, even better. We can also pay 5, tap it, reveal cards from the top of our library until we reveal a non-legendary, non-land card with mana 3 or less. You may cast that card without paying its mana cost. Put all the revealed cards not cast this way on the bottom of their library in a random order. You know, for 5 mana, if we're top decking, we can just grab whatever we want from the top. And, you know, there are so many creatures. We shouldn't have a problem grabbing something with 3 or less because, well, let's face it, basically the entire deck is 3 or less. On the opposing side, we have Augusta, Dean of Order, a 1/3. Other tapped creatures you control get +1/+0. Other tapped creatures you control get 0/+1. This is amazing. So offensively, you'll deal more damage, and defensively, you'll be able to withhold or withstand more damage. Whenever you attack, untap each creature you control, then tap any number of creatures you control. So you can choose which buff they get, and basically giving all of your creatures vigilance because you get to untap them. Absolutely amazing. Into our 3 drops now. 2 copies of the Elite Spellbinder. This is another new card that is so powerful. A 3/1 with flying. When Elite Spellbinder enters the battlefield, look at target opponent's hand. You may exile a non-land card from it. For as long as that card remains exiled, its owner may play it, and it will cost an additional 2 more to cast. So, you know, first off, it's a 3/1 with flying. Perfect for an aggro deck. Second up, you get to see their hand to know if they have an extinction event, something that you need to be worrying about. And next up, you can make that spell be more expensive by taxing them. I love it. 2 copies of Reidane, God of the Worthy, a 2/3 with flying and vigilance. Snow lands your opponent's control enter the battlefield tapped, and non-creature spells your opponent's cast with mana value 4 or greater will cost 2 more to cast. We have the Protector's Shield on the opposing side for 4 mana. If a source an opponent control would deal damage to us or a permanent that we control, prevent 1 of that damage. Whenever you or another permanent you control becomes a target of a spell or ability an opponent controls, counter that spell unless or ability unless its controller pays 1. This is really great, again, to shut down those aggro decks, and I absolutely love the 2/3 with flying and vigilance. Moving on, we've got 4 copies of the Bonecrusher Giant, a 4/3, and whenever it's the target of a spell, it will deal 2 damage to that spell's controller. It has Stomp at instant speed as the adventure. Damage can't be prevented this turn, and Stomp will deal 2 damage to any target. Absolutely loving it. A little bit of removal in the deck. We already talked about the power level of the Warsinger. We mentioned the Historian, and you guys are all familiar with Showdown of the Skalds, an enchantment saga. When it enters play, exiling the top 4 cards of our library, being able to cast those cards until the end of our next turn. Whenever you cast your next spell, put a +1/+1 counter on target creature you control for the following 2 upkeeps after that. These +1/+1 counters, similar to the counters from Luminarch Aspirant, can go on the Fireblade Charger, the Seasoned Hallowblade, or even the Venerable Warsinger, because we could push the Warsinger up and potentially pull the Blade Historian out from our graveyard if it happened to be there, which is pretty darn cool. So that's the deck, right? We've got 9 plains, 7 mountains, 4 snarls entering tapped unless we can reveal a basic from our hand, which should be relatively easy to do, and the pathways to make things, you know, a little bit friendlier. That's the list, you guys. There's not much to it. Double strike the Warsinger if you can. Protect the Warsinger with Bounty, with the Savior. Utilize the Dean and the Hallowblade to discard stuff if they're not dying or you can't sacrifice it to replay it, so you make sure to get the value. Easy peasy lemon squeezy. I hope you guys enjoyed. I am so excited for Strixhaven. This is just my first deck, and we have tons more ready for you guys. So make sure to subscribe to the channel for even more content, like the videos to help support, and comment down below your thoughts and opinions on the deck. Don't miss out on our contests, giveaways, shenanigans, all available in the link tree. We also have all of our affiliate links there as well if you want to support. I really do recommend Patreon as a platform. gain gain access to exclusive content and other cool things there as well. Of course, you know, we are on Twitch, on YouTube as well. So blah blah blah. Advertise in another time. I just want to watch the gameplay. Let's get into it. And more importantly than all of that, enjoy, you guys. Strixhaven in the arena clients. Oh my gosh, I love it. What an opening hand too. Woof. The Snarl is sad though. Right, there's not the basics in hand. We'll still get there, it's okay. Because the blade can discard the Savior. And then we'll replay the Savior with the Warsinger. It is nice to have the Savior in play so you can protect the Warsinger, of course, but, you know, beggars can't be choosers. This is one of my favorite decks that I built so far. Again, you know, first couple days. We'll have plenty more to come. Let's toss Luminarch. I'm going to play it just because we have two of them. If I didn't have two of them, I would keep it in my hand and play the Savior and the Warsinger on the same turn. Right? So we're just going to hang out. You jerk! Right? And that's an exile. We can't even protect against that if we wanted to, so, you know, that's a thing. They're tapped, so we don't have to worry about what phase we play these in. Alright, let's just hit for 3. And now, hopefully, there's no more exile. Ooh, they take a turn off. Let's get him. It's too bad the other Warsinger's in exile, or we could re-pull it. They're gaining lots of life, though. We get to pull the Luminarch Aspirant back. I love it. I absolutely love it. Yup. Keep the land in hand to discard for our Hallowblade's Indestructible. Nice. Good game, brah. Warsinger OP. Now we're off to a good start, right? We've got lots of games to win, so we haven't played it in a little bit. But with a deck like this, I don't think it'll take us long. All right, second match, let go. Snarl, opening hand, yes. We'll keep the Alseid in hand. It's very convenient to remove the Alseid on turn 1 if they play it because, you know, it's lifelink and there's no way for it to sack, and it's really high priority later on. The Wayfarer coming at us. I don't care. I'll smack that thing. I'll trade with you, bro. I'll trade with you, bro. Let's take our hit and turn cool beans. Interesting. That's a big boy. That's a big boy. Right? A 4/5? Woof. Well, we could have tossed the land if we wanted, but... As long as they don't gain lifelink, I guess, hey? That could be a bummer if they try to lifelink us. Don't you dare do this to me! Oh, and that's an enchantment too. That's not bad. That's pretty cool. Respect, respect. No way. Okay. Now that's some damage, baby. We'll go to Block Town here. Grab the life. I would rather them block it. I think. Maybe we should have stomped it first. But, like, if I'm gonna end up with a creature, I would rather end up with my giant. But we should hedge on our future turns with the Skalds. As long as I don't have a life gain. 4 mana. Owl is gonna find them Heliod. That they can't play, at least. Daxos. Not quite as bad. Down to 11. They have blockers up. But we should be able to push out some serious damage here. Now, there's a weird world in which we play the Dean of Order, or we play the Warsinger. Probably just the Dean of Order. Keep grabbing that value from the Skalds. And we're all in. I don't want to tap them, I don't think. Well, actually, I probably do. We could get more damage if we tap them. Yeah, screw it. I'll take the damage output. I think we're in a position where we do need to race. And we can block with this Charger next turn anyways, and then just attack again, I think, so. We're in a great spot. We've got the Crusher for, you know, a little bit of reach if we get them down enough. Yeah! If you can guess what I'm listening to there, I will give you a Strixhaven pack. Just off that. You get one little lyric. It makes so much sense to me, but I could see on the outside of things you'd never get it, right? So still no life gain. You know, they should have played Daxos already, I guess, but I don't know. We're at 11. We should be able to just smash in. Like, they have to be chump blocking the Chargers. That's a big hit, baby! Look at that birdie! The Selfless Savior being a 1-2 reminds me now of a Giant Killer, and I want to be tapping stuff with it. Nice. Yeah! You could time between my yes to figure it out. Woof. That's just good game. Protection from white! Got him! Woof! Let's get a third. We cannot stop, and we will not stop. Good hand, land is bad. Malagarinos. Well, this is just as bad, but I'm going to keep it. One Skald can go. Snarls can come and tap. We don't have 1-drops, so it's fine. It sucks, but whatever. Look at this new class. I love this, you know, like, arena that we're in. That is so cool. So we grab the basic land. No harm, no foul. But we're not playing anything, so I think we'll lose this match. Where's our 1 and 2 drops? This is brutal. This is brutal. Guarantee this gets Heartless Act. Just rip. Don't you dare do that to me! No! We've got some Skalds. Now that's gonna be good. Ooh, a Skald into a Skald. Oof. Oof, 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 oof. Maybe we make it out of here somehow alive. I doubt it, but a guy can pray. They're using Luris, so there's no ultimatum. Or if there is, it doesn't do anything good. Rogues! Why I oughta. You gotta go with the Skalds again, right? Maybe we'll get a land. Or maybe it gets countered. Or acted. Let's just kill this thing. Are you guys like the head bobs? I know that's a key part of your viewing experience. Like, if that's not entertainment, I don't know what is. Hallowblade's gonna mess this rogue player up so hard. Woo! Woo! That's an 8-6, baby! Coming over! Hopefully there's no exile. Freaking rogue players, you never know, right? Let's get after it, you guys. 2 things that I hope to grow into the future as a streamer, content creator. Your boy wants a racing simulator. Like, woo, fucking one of the seats that moves with all the nice big screens. We want one of those. And we also want... We have to keep the Warsinger, the dog for the Warsinger, and we can pull the Aspirant back with the Warsinger, so that's why we let it go. And then I want a drum kit, an electric drum kit. I think it'd be really cool to drum as well. There's a little bit of my thoughts and plans for the future for you guys. I'll always make Magic content, but I like to do a little bit of other things. They're going to counter this because who wants to, like, show someone their hand? I don't think they have a bounce spell. They might. That would annoy me so hard. Let me see that hand, man. Let me see that hand, man. Elite Spellbinder. OPAF. They counter it, so we know they're out of mana. Let's take our 1 damage. Kill the crab. That's one way to get the crab out of play. Force them to block with it. A 10-8 with Indestructible. I love it. We do have to remember to keep a card in hand to discard to give it that indestructible. And we could use the dog too, but I really like the Warsinger to have indestructible with the dog. And we could grab Spellbinder back and look in their hand again. Wow. That's not even for one turn. That's like for frickin' ever. Eight damage. It's not enough. We get to bring 2 creatures back, which is great because the double strike. Man, that was such a BM by them. Grab another card here. May as well grab our second Warsinger. I cannot believe they did that to us. They took our Seasoned Hallowblade. Oh my god! They took our Hallowblade. Our nuclear device. They stole it from us. Can you imagine having that with double strike? They're going to counter this with Drowned. And now the Blade Historian should live. In the void! What you gonna do, rogue player? Yeah, I doubt it. And because they have double strike, the combat damage from the second can bring the first death back from the grave. What? So this Warsinger dies, and the second time we do damage, it'll bring it back. Will this come into play? And can we... Oh my gosh. Oh my god! We don't even lose it. Oh, God bless. 100% win rate, you guys. You just can't be beaten. This deck is popping. Woo, Lorehold aggro in the house. 100% win rate. Even beating our own best card. You know what I mean? Venerable Warsinger, Blade Historian, pulling 2 cards from your grave every turn. Absolutely silly. I hope you guys enjoyed. Let's wrap up now with my final thoughts. Woof, woof, woof. The deck is great. You know, some people were saying, I don't see the need for snow in the chat while we're recording, and there's not. I just like the look. You could easily, you know, sub something like Frostbite into the deck and make it more friendly. And when I was building the decks within Aetherhub, it is not as enjoyable to change things around like that, and I wanted to be doing some testing at some point with the Frostbite in the deck, because I think the creature removal is great, and, you know, without Maul of the Skyclaves, we have a hard time getting in the air, so we're more focused on trample, and sometimes removing our opponent's blockers would be good for that. So, you know, we can try that in the future. It's another cheap spell that we can cast on top of Showdown, which is nice, but, you know, for now, if you're worried about Reidane, on the opposing board state, having your lands come in tapped, you know what, it's easy to sub those lands out, right? So save yourself some time. You can do it if you want. If not, test out the Frostbite like I will do in future days. However, I had to run it just with the Bonecrusher Giant to see if it had enough power, because I didn't want to take away from that attack power through all of the creatures and the replayability of those creatures through the Warsinger, but we had no issue there. I think we could maybe work in a little bit more removal, but that's another video. And again, thank you guys so much for supporting. I really appreciate it. Have a magical day. Again, support the channel if you can afford to do so on something like YouTube, Twitch, or Patreon. We've got affiliates within the clothing world, Great Viking Games if you're looking for cosmetics, and Amazon for your other day-to-day goods. Have a magical day, you guys. We'll see you soon in the next. And until then, take care.